What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to more RollerCoaster Tycoon. I made a little bit of an error yesterday. I recorded the game for about 3 hours, recording the end of Leafy Lake, as well as the beginning of Diamond Heights. And after recording for about 3 hours, I realized that I did not have my game audio turned on. So the whole thing is mute. So instead of going back and re-recording the whole thing, because with any other game, I really would have gone back and re-recorded the whole thing, but with this game, there's a lot of repetition, and there's really only certain things that I really need to show. So I thought it would be okay if I went and showed you guys the end of Leafy Lake, where I ended up at the very end of the scenario, because the objective is really straightforward. It's exactly what we did in Diamond Dunes and Forest Frontiers. And Diamond Heights is actually a little bit different with the scenario. However, I haven't actually finished recording that one. So the beginning of the videos for Diamond Heights will be about halfway through the scenario. And I've already built a bunch of cool stuff in that one that I can show you guys. So I'm just going to start by doing a Leafy Lakes run through here, and we'll look at everything that I built, which is quite a bit. I came to the conclusion that these shuttle rides are a complete cash cow. There's so much money to be made on those because they're incredibly cheap, and people will pay top dollar to ride them. So I have 3 of those, and I'll probably be starting off most of my parks building these things because they just make tons of money, and then we can have more fun building cool coasters. You guys have seen this one, the Blue Man Hoop. I think that was the last thing I built in the previous episode. But I really filled out this area of the park. This coaster was one that I built by hand. It's one of those suspended coasters. It goes down and just kind of goes around the park because I needed something that would fit in the gap. And then I had a couple of pre-built coasters over here. One of these really interesting flying hanging coasters, of which I've never seen before. I guess it's kind of like Superman. If you've ever been on Superman at Six Flags, it's kind of like that, but not quite the same. And also put this coaster down, which is pretty neat. It's got a bunch of loops. Surprisingly enough, it's not too nauseating for people, because these kinds of bends are what will cause extreme nausea. But luckily, the ride's going pretty slow, and I think that's actually a brake right there. So if you want to do these kinds of bends, you got to make sure your coaster is going quite slow. Some of these guys, I swear, they must have whipped these up in AutoCAD or something beforehand, because I can't imagine you could structure some of these roller coasters and have them be as awesome as they are and still have people ride them. It's quite a talent to be able to make a really interesting looking coaster and have it all fit and also make it rideable. Granted, I'm getting better at it, but I still don't think I could build something this awesome. But I'm sure there are people out there that can. That's mostly what I built. I put a track over here. I can't remember if that was in the previous episode. It's really just a default track, nothing special about it. Also, one of these guys called it Tower Time. And I put some balloon stalls. We got this swinging ship over here. Just some basic stuff that I threw down. Nothing terribly special here. And that's pretty much it. Oh man, we have broken down. Also got tons and tons of working men because this area over here gets so nasty because of these 3 roller coasters and this one here. They're just people puking here all the time, literally. Also have a lot of police officers because people were getting pissy and breaking things. Tons of mechanics. No entertainers, but I've managed to keep the lines very short. I really like to structure my lines like this. Oh, yep, see, they're already complaining about the nasty state of my paths, even though I'm probably at a really high rating still. Yep. I was actually at 999 when I finished the level, which is actually the maximum rating that you can get. But the way I structure my pathing now is I'll put maybe 4 or 5 blocks in the queue, and then I will extend the exit line to connect with it and then fill out the path to the mainland. So it's pretty much how I structure all my lines now, and then they never get so long that people start complaining, because more people can always just jump in the line later. Let's see. I think that's about it. I managed to get pretty much all of the research done, keeping it at maximum. With these guys over here funding most of it. As you can see, this one's made 21,000. almost 25,000, almost 32,000. And I think these were about 5,000 a piece. So big cash cows to be able to construct some really cool rides without actually cheating. Squash is still doing quite well. All right, guys, so I was just going to give a quick rundown of this level. In the next video, we will be going into the next scenario, which was, do not save, Diamond Heights. And I'm going to continue where I left off in Diamond Heights. So I'll see you there.